Hi, I'm Michelle Baker with a look at what's happening in Latin America now. But first, our news trivia. What is the most populated city of all Latin America? We'll have the answer later. In Colombia, it has been a rocky ride. This Friday will mark a month since the national strike began. The number of victims is alarming, as one human rights group, Paz, says 59 deaths are being investigated in correlation with the protest. The protests began in opposition to a controversial tax reform. Since then, the bill has been withdrawn, and the government has given in to another demand, to remove a health reform bill. Adding fuel to the crisis, the government's High Commissioner for Peace resigned over the weekend. He joins the government's finance minister and foreign minister, who have also stepped down from their duties. Latin America reached 1 million deaths due to coronavirus. Countries in LATAM are considering trying to accelerate the first dose in their vaccination plans, in the hopes that this will help lower mortality rates. Countries like Costa Rica have ramped up their vaccination plans, but are still seeing an increase in cases despite the vaccine. Doctors say it is because they let their guard down. And in this next story on COVID, if you're vaccinated, I've got your next vacation destination, Panama's Tobago Island. This tourism spot has only 1,000 inhabitants, and 90% of them have been vaccinated. It's been free of COVID infections for more than a month now.
Y tener a tus hijos, sobre todo a la menor de edad, que no es la tendencia latinoamericana, que me la hayan podido vacunar aquí, es una bendición.
Now let's go to Argentina. Joel Richards has the latest on the lockdown.
Hi Michelle. Well, Argentina is back into its strictest phase of lockdown. Last week, only India and Brazil registered higher daily total cases of COVID-19, and Argentina's population is only around the 45 million mark, so that really gives us an idea of just how serious the situation is. Amongst the activities banned, professional football is one of them. It's often said that of all the unimportant things in life, football is the most important. Argentines certainly love their football, and the country is due to host the Copa America in June. So there remains a question mark over whether or not we'll see the likes of Lionel Messi here in action or not. For now, the restrictions are due to last until May the 30th, but then again the following weekend of June the 5th, June the 6th. So this is perhaps a signal of what Argentines can expect over the course of the Southern Hemisphere winter. Easing of restrictions during the week, but strict quarantine during the weekend.
Okay, now let's look at what stories we're following for next week.
Authorities in Peru are investigating the killing of 16 people in a remote region. The murders were the result of an attack on farmers. They've been linked to a terrorist group that killed almost 70,000 people during the 80s. The killings occurred just days before the second round of the presidential election, scheduled for next week, June 6th. Also on June 6th, Mexico will be holding midterm elections. They'll be voting on 15 of the country's 32 governorships and the Chamber of Deputies of the Mexican Congress. What's at stake? The president and his party need enough votes to retain their absolute majority in Congress. And third, Chile is developing a mobility pass that will allow fully vaccinated residents to freely circulate during lockdown. 70% of Chile's counties are under a partial or total lockdown due to a deadly surge of COVID. But 50% of the population has received 2 doses of the vaccine. The new electronic permit will enable that 50% to travel to other cities from now on. The nation's borders, however, will remain closed. We'll know by next week how the plan is doing.
And now the answer to the news trivia. It was B. Sao Paulo, Brazil beats out Mexico City and Lima. As of 2020, it had 12.3 million inhabitants. A random fact, Sao Paulo has 6,000 pizzerias. Pizza is one of the favorite foods of Paulistas. And did you know Sao Paulo is the 4th most populous city in the world? Yes, after Tokyo, New Delhi, and Shanghai. And that's it for this week. We'll see you again soon on Latin America Now.